Hey, hi, welcome back. This is part two of the puzzle room videos. Let's get cracking. And let's move on to the asteroids puzzle. Now, this is quite hairy to explain how this works, and there's quite a few bits of instruction. But just bear with it, and we'll get there together. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off these variables on my screen, because I don't need to see those on my screen. And the way I can do that is I go to my variables tab, and I just untick these boxes here, and that's them hidden out of sight now because we don't need them for the game. And we're going to make a crosshair first of all as our shooting sprite. So we're going to go down to the choose a sprite. We're going to pick the paintbrush, and we're going to kind of like that sort of color, and I think that will do. And then we're going to draw a circle in the middle, and then I'm going to fill the inside of the circle with nothing. So if I click the fill button and then select a color, and you might see this on other programs, but see there's like a checkerboard color on the back of the screen here. That actually shows me that's no color. So I've picked no color in there, and if I come into the middle of the my aimer, it's made that invisible. So now you can see on the screen here that my target roundel is see-through. I'm just going to add a line through the middle. Oh, they've done a cross down like this. Doesn't have to be bang in the middle because it's got lots of variation. So we kind of like created something similar to theirs. Mine's a little bit on the big side, so let's change that down to half size and enter. Guess we could go a little bit smaller. 30. And I want to try and move it into my grid. It's not very easy to see, is it? Maybe I should have done my lines thicker. That would help, wouldn't it? So let's just erase that lot. So I'm happy with that color. I'm going to change that to say size 6. I'm going to do my circle. See if I can't get a bit more nearer the middle. And then a line. And vertical line. Oh, they've done theirs a bit different. Never mind. Mine's different. Okay, that's a little bit better. And let's just rename that one Crosshair. That's my target aimer. Right, now I'm coding the crosshair now, and I'm going to make it so when the green flag is clicked that the crosshair is forever going to go to where the mouse pointer is. So switch to my code, and the green flag, a forever loop. Go to mouse pointer, go to mouse pointer. So now my target is forever following me around the whole screen. We're going to limit it so it's only visible when it's in the window. And that's what we're going to do. Now, whenever I do anything now, it's going to just keep following me around. Or you can see it's moving me around. And we're going to add a bit to make sure that the crosshair is touching the port, which is this window at the back. So inside our forever loop here, we're going to add a show. So that's a looks. And when we put a show into something, we want to put a hide as well. So I'm just going to park that there to remind me. Show, go to mouse pointer, and then we've got another if loop inside here if. They want to say if he's not touching the port, then we don't want to see it. So that hide's going to go inside there. And we're going to go and get the not operator. And under sensing, we've got touching port. He should hide. Let's test that now. So now when I'm back in the stop and run. So now you can see that when I'm not touching the window, it hides, but it actually also includes the crosshairs on my aimer, so I could actually shoot there if I wanted to. But we're going to change that by expanding the if not part, and we're going to say we're going to add another operator, another logical operator on there, or. So that one there, so we want the first part we've already made, and we're also going to say if it's touching this color here. Now I know, well let's just show you what's going to happen. Touching color is under sensing, touching color there. Right, if I want to try and pick that color from the screen now, I'm not going to do it because I've got the mouse pointer. I've got the target thing following me around. So what I need to do is just unblock this bit of code here, click on here, click the pipette. Now I can go in. Oh, I didn't press stop. Stop. Right. Click the pipette. Now I can go and grab that color there. And that block there is updated to the color. I'm going to add that code back in there, and I'm going to add this block of code back in here. Press the green flag. Now, when my mouse is within the screen, you can see that the crosshair is visible. We might have a little problem because it looks like my arms and my crosshair might be a bit too long, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to add some rocks, and we're going to use something else on here called making your own blocks. And blocks are just simply bits of code that you can then reuse time and time again. And we're going to define a new block, and we're going to call it go to position. And we're going to add a go to random position. Go to random position. And then inside that, we're going to, it's going to be similar to this block here, because we want our rock to go to a random position on the page, but we also want to make sure that it's touching the port and not touching so it's the opposite of this one here. So we want a repeat loop, repeat until. I'm just going to duplicate that a little bit there, and I want an and conditional operator here. We want touching port, so I can just drag that out of there and pop that in there. And if I move this touching color into there and then grab that one out of there and pop that in there, then that's how I've built the code up that we need to make sure that the rock, and I put this code on the crosshair, and I haven't brought a rock in. Find a rock. We didn't read the instructions. Go and get a rock. There we go. Right, now that I've got my rock, if I go back to my crosshair, I'm going to drag that code there and park it on the rock, and then get rid of that there because we don't want it on there. My rock's a little bit on the big side. So let's reduce its size to event green flag is clicked. Set size to so that looks as a set size to, what do we think, 20%? Yeah, I think that's a reasonably good size. Okay, we've done that. So, well, didn't finish that. And then inside this loop here, we need to put in a go to random position. So go to random position. Right. Let's just press the stop button and then press run. And oh, we haven't done the actions to make the rock. Actually, the rock does move, and you can see that it does eventually stop on the page, but you can also see when it's bouncing around the page, so it kind of goes around the page and then waits until it's touching the window and not touching the color. But we can see that it's doing that, so we're going to add a ghosting effect onto there. And I think this instruction here should have the go to random position left in it, so I'm just going to do what I've done now and add set I think ghost is in here, set ghost to 100, and then we want to add a clear graphics effects here, so that makes it visible. Right, so now if I press the button now, our rock should just bounce around, but you don't see it bouncing around now because we've got the ghost effect on. It just appears in the window. Right, I'm pleased with that. So the last part is similar to the other puzzles. We're going to create a variable called asteroids, and we're going to count how many times the crosshair touches the rock. And it should only work if if Monet is within 50 of the chair. Actually, if he's touching the chair. Okay, so on Monet, we've got our start position in there, and on the code here, we're putting a forever loop. Control forever. And then inside that, an if then else block, if then else. If he's touching chair, then set at chair. We've got to create another variable. We're going to create two variables. We're going to create an asteroids variable and an at chair variable. So let's go down to our variables and create a new variable, and asteroid port. Okay, and make a variable at chair. Okay. I didn't follow their instructions on asteroids and just called it I called it asteroid caught because we got the other ones called button pressed, hand wheel turned. I need to keep that going the same way. So if he's touching the chair, we're going to set the variable at chair to true. So if touching chair, set at chair to true, and right click duplicate that, pop that in there, and if he's not at the chair, we're going to set it to false. So in this instance, these are called Boolean operators, so they're true or false. If I press the green flag, the variable at chair is false. If I move him around, touch the chair, it now says true. So we've got a way of knowing when Monet is touching the chair or not touching the chair. Okay. Now we are going to code the rocks or the asteroids. So go to my rocks block. And when the green flag is clicked, we're going to set asteroids caught to 0. We're going to use that block we've just made there. That actually just makes the asteroid move around. And we're going to repeat until asteroids caught equals 10. So that's a control. Repeat until asteroids caught. Oops, what's the control equals button? Asteroids caught. What am I looking for? Yes, it's a variable. Asteroid caught equals 10. And we're going to add another block to check that the crosshair is touching the rock and that at chair is true. So this is just making sure that it's okay for him to catch the rock. So we're going to add an ordinary if statement in here. If I want the AND operator. So in order for this to work, both the things that we're building in here have got to be true. So if at chair equals true, oops, just put that down there. If variable at chair equals true, and touching crosshair, touching crosshair right on the bottom. Put that in there. Move that around so you can see it. Then we're going to then change asteroids by 1, and then run the go-to position bit of code again. This is a bit like a function, really. We're defining a function down here that makes sure the rock settles within the window. Change asteroids caught by 1 and go to position. Back to coding the port, and we've got the initial starter block they've given us, and it's the same kind of like help text thing but a little bit different. So we're going to add a repeat loop. Oops, repeat until asteroids equals 10. So again, we get the operator first of all. Asteroids equals 10. Asteroids caught equals 10. And then say, which is under looks, and we're joining. This is just a 1 join on this one. We're just saying the number of asteroids that are being caught. So using that variable in there. Typing caught. Don't forget to put the space bar in the front. Oh, their words are asteroids destroyed. Asteroids destroyed. And then say task complete for 2 seconds. Okay, let's do a big test on the on our asteroid routine here. Let's first of all hide the variables. And let's move Monet up to touching the chair. And then, oh, press the go button. Let's move Monet up to the chair. When I come into here, as I try and catch the rock, I don't have to, I'm not clicking anything here. It's just working by sensing when it's touching. And you can see that the number of asteroids I've caught is being updated. So that this time it should stop and it should say task complete. Okay, so that works. We've tested the others as we've gone along. One last thing to do is to do a big full screen test. Press stop, press run, and to move Monet on this page I need to use the arrows because dragging it on screen has been disabled. So get his belly button kind of close to the button. Press the button 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Task complete. And now let's go across to the chair. Got the crosshair coming out. That's cool, I like that. And then let's take him over to the hand wheel. Okay, it's the belly button to aim for. Reasonably close to the door handle. One revolution. Oh, this is a bit boring. 2 and 3. Task complete. There's the usual reflection questions that you can answer at your own leisure. And there's also, other things you could try and do, and that's make some different options. Add extra sprites to provide more puzzles, edit the backdrop and turn areas into new sprites, and add an extra challenge by making the player complete all the challenges within a set time. So there's some ideas for extra things you can do, and I kind of think that this one here might have some other things added to it. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that game. I hope you have a go at doing the extra challenges at the end. See you in the next video. Bye.